Hey, hi, Peter, Watch Retrospect. Thanks for joining me today. Today I want to talk about my Christopher Ward Trident Pro 300 once again. I've done a few videos on this. This is not really a review of this watch, but more of a follow-up of a previous video I did where I asked if this Trident here could fill my void of no longer owning a Rolex Submariner. In no way am I putting this Christopher Ward Trident down in any way. It is absolutely an outstanding watch, perhaps the best watch I own. And that's even comparing it to my Rolex Explorer. In fact, let's see what I do have on, because I do have my Explorer on. This is a 114 270. Outstanding watch. This is in the 36. And just a great all-around watch, for sure. Beautiful, beautiful watch, beautiful dial. But anyway, as far as this Christopher Ward is, this thing fits as well as any watch I have. And if you consider it's a 300-meter diver, to me, nothing even comes close to it. Not even my old Submariners that I had fit as well. Those ones that I had were the pre-ceramic ones, 16610 in stainless steel, and I also had a two-tone with the black dial, not the bluesy, that model number being the 16613. First off, other than the fact that this watch here is stainless steel, and it has a black dial, that's it. It's stainless steel and has a black dial. It's the only thing that's in common. Nothing on this watch is similar to the Rolex Submariner. Not the case, not the indices, not the hand, not the date window, not the bezel, which, by the way, is one of the best out there. Yes, it has a Rolex Oyster bracelet on it, but, so don't about 70% of all watches out there. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but yes, many, many watches have this style bracelet. Funny thing is, when I first decided to buy this Trident and decide what color dial I did want, I did in fact pass over the black one and ended up buying a blue one, since I do seem to have a fetish for blue divers. But I remember thinking I don't want the black dial because it did in fact remind me of a Submariner, despite the fact that nothing is similar, as I just described. I went with their blue dial, and after getting it, it just didn't blow wind up my skirt, as they say. And Christopher Ward was great in letting me swap it, and I did in fact get the black one. They come in 4 colors, but I'm just not a white dial person for the most part. They make a green one that even matches my employment color, since I drive for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I wasn't really down for a green watch, so black it was, and I was ecstatic when I received it. I also have a Christopher Ward Sealander GMT in black, and Christopher Ward just does black dials very well, in my opinion. But the weird dynamic that I encounter with this watch, and that's what this video is really about, is that every time I put it on, it somehow always reminds me of the Submariners that I no longer have. And even though I do have a Rolex, as I just showed you, the 114-270 Explorer, and I love that watch, I still cringe every time I think how I let my Submariners, especially my two-tone, get away, especially when I really didn't need to sell it when I did back in 2019. Of course, those are now worth twice the price I sold it for. And, at the time anyway, which contributes to the pain I have, believe me. I don't claim that this dynamic shows me of being a sound mind. In fact, it doesn't come across being very healthy in regards to my emotional state. This is just a watch, for crying out loud. Every time I put the Trident on, I'm awed by it in both its aesthetics and especially by the way it fits, as I said. But I don't know, emotions will always bubble up in me about missing my Submariner. The funny thing is, I honestly believe if I owned another Submariner at some point, I would have no problem wearing this Christopher Ward, if not even more than the Submariner, because the truth is you have to be careful, because people will clunk you on the head for a Rolex if in the wrong setting. And, the Submariner doesn't quite fly under the radar as my 36 Explorer does. And if I had my Submariner tucked at home, I really believe this, if I had my Submariner tucked away at home, I obviously wouldn't have the emotions that I experience now when I put on my Christopher Ward Trident. Again, I admit it, I probably need some professional help here talking to somebody. This is not a normal dynamic I think people have. At this point, I have to come to a conclusion that somehow I have to figure out how to obtain another Submariner. I'm certainly not in a financial position to spend 10 to 12K on a watch. Maybe the little Bitcoin I have will blow up when the halving comes up soon. I'm sure some of you out there know what I'm talking about. Anyway, having a desire for a Submariner is not all that crazy, considering I'm in the watch collecting rabbit hole now, and it is in fact one of the most famous watches ever. every time I see one wearing one, it's like salt in a wound, though. I could care less about seeing anyone with the, other exotic watches like Royal Oaks or Patek Philippe's. Those are way out of my league, and I really have no desire for them, to be honest with you. But anyway, what I would really say, though, for sure, despite me raving and ranting how I miss my Submariners every time I put this on, if you at all are thinking of one of these watches, one of these Trident, I would run, don't walk to your computer or phone and order one. I mean, I honestly don't think there's a better watch than Christopher Ward's out there for the value and quality you get at that price. That price range of like $1,000 to $1,500. This rant is more about not fulfilling my unhealthy lust for another Submariner, and it has nothing to do with Christopher Ward, falling short to anybody else. It's just a weird dynamic that I deal with because of the fact that I've owned those Submariners before. This Trident Pro 300, which, by the way, Christopher Ward just declared it as being their best-selling watch ever. It's just an outstanding watch, regardless of price. Certainly, to me, the best value out there. I guess I'll end up saying, I'll keep you abreast of my quests for my Holy Grail watch, which is a Rolex Submariner. And hopefully I mentally get in a better state of mind with it. But I'm sure if I get it, it's not going to change my life, to such a degree. But it's just a desire I just don't seem to be able to extinguish. So, but anyway, just real quick, like I promised, let's put this watch on just so you can look at it and I don't get criticized for not doing a wrist shot of my watch here, because these things just fit so outstanding. Just look at that. Look at the way these things fit. I mean, I just love this watch. And like I said, if I had a Submariner tucked away at home, I'd wear this all the time, and the emotions wouldn't swell up like they do. But I do love this watch, and I wear it, but I more or less wear it more around the house, and at times I don't go out to work with it all that much because it just does a weird dynamic. And like I said, it's not a normal emotion for sure that most watch people have, but I guess I do. But anyway, we'll keep you abreast on my search for the Holy Grail. I really appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much.